Hello, hello, and welcome to Oracle Hour. My name is Sabrina Rising. I'm a spiritual mentor and a psychic medium, and it's my honor to channel spirit on your behalf. Welcome to this live broadcast. I am live every Wednesday and Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific. I welcome your questions. I can see that we already have returning community members here. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all. If you're new here, don't be shy. Put your question in the chat. I answer questions on a first come, first serve basis. I have my trusted moderator here, Lorraine, who is magic with the questions. She's got you. So just put your questions in and she will prioritize your question. If you are subscribing to my channel, you get priority in the chat as well. So something to consider as we dive into live readings tonight. We are live in 4 places: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So if you're watching anywhere other than YouTube, you know the drill. I can't see you. So come on YouTube at Sabrina Rising, put your question in the chat, or better yet, come and join me on screen. We have a link available here in a moment. Lorraine is going to create a link for you to join me live on this broadcast. You can come and meet me live on screen and we can do a reading. You can ask me some questions. I'm happy to facilitate transformation. If you want to join me live, don't be shy. It's an opportunity to be seen and held in community as well. Okay, this is a loving, non-judgmental environment. So it's good for everybody. If you're, as usual, I always say this every week, try and stay for the whole broadcast. Even if I don't have a chance to interact with you, sometimes we get too many questions to address. All of the transmissions that come through are for everyone. Okay, so there is some gold, some God, some truth in whatever is being shared with someone for you as well. In fact, we often see a theme in the questions that come through. There's usually a theme around relationships or self-love or self-care or sovereignty or listening to our intuition or feeling empowered, all of the above. Okay, so really deep listening and participation on your part will open up the space for you and for all of us as well. Okay, so and again, don't be shy. If you want to join us on screen, that's welcome at any time, or you can just interact with me in the chat. If you're looking for mediumship, if you have a question about someone who has crossed over, about someone in the spirit realm, perhaps you're in a state of grief, or you have a question about a friend or whoever it is, I highly recommend booking a mediumship session. Okay, so the Zoom environment is ideal. We can see each other, we can interact. Come and join me in a mediumship reading where we can go deep and I can spend time with you, really interacting and offering messages. Okay, that said, sometimes mediumship happens on the show. If there are spirits here or loved ones here that want to communicate with you, I feel them readily present and they want to convey a message. Of course, I won't say no. I will offer whatever it is that they are sharing that's meant for you at this time in your spiritual evolution. Okay, it's normal to have questions on your spiritual development journey. It's normal to wonder about things, to wonder about whether or not you're on the right path, or you're making the right choice, or what's going to happen, or to have regret, perhaps, or to feel bogged down by uncomfortable emotions, perhaps emotions that you haven't resolved from your childhood, from past relationships, or whatever has happened in your life. Okay, so wherever you are in the timeline of your life, at any point, you get to make a decision about what feels good, about what you want, about how you want to live, what you choose, what you want your environment to be like. You are the creator of your reality. I can't say this enough. I say it week after week in different ways. And this is always the message, is that you have sovereignty over your reality. And as a channel, I can transmit what I feel is coming through for you, what's available, what's likely going to happen based on the current trajectory that you're on. And you have free will. You can change your stars at any moment by taking personal responsibility, by making a different choice, by taking a different action, and by aligning yourself with love, with deep love and deep inner peace, which is available once we learn to let go of these emotions that we feel stuck with. In fact, letting go is exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. So before we dive into live readings, I felt really inspired to share tonight about the spirit of letting go. Okay, so what does it mean to truly let go? Sometimes spirit wants us to let go. Okay, so your higher self wants you to let go of something that the 3D version of you is still holding on to. Okay, so, and I talk about this over and over again. We have a conditioned self, which is our humanity, our 3D version of us, the part of us that, is engaged in the 5 senses, that doesn't really connect or feel beyond that. Okay, the conditioned self is conditioned to experience fear, limitation, and lack. This is normal. This is part of what we came here to experience. This is the contrast. And these conditions represent the most favorable environment for you to feel uncomfortable, for you to hit a bottom, for you to be questioning your nature, the purpose of life. Who am I? Why am I here? All of these conditions are meant to create a certain level of discomfort, to make you so uncomfortable, in fact, that you actually seek out the nature of your essence, the nature of being. You're essentially seeking out the source of you, the truth of who you are, which is God, which is universal intelligence, which is unconditional love. To me, these are all synonyms of each other. Okay. So the conditioned self oftentimes, always, I won't say oftentimes, always creates attachments. This is part of the human experience. We get attached to things. We're creatures of habit. We like to operate in a certain way. We get attached to certain people, places, things, ways of operating that we feel become part of our identity. And then we don't know who we are without them. Okay. There are times in our lives, and this is true for all of us, where spirit just wants you to let go. It's actually in your highest and best good to let go. So how do you know when it's time to let go? Right. So for those of you that are watching, I invite you to just contemplate as I'm talking, like, is there something in my life right now where I just know it's up, it's over? Like this is coming up to be released. This is something I know I'm done. I'm just done. And this is a knowing we have in our bodies. It's not something that we figure out with the mind. In fact, oftentimes when we're not ready to let go of something, we might deliberate in our minds back and forth. Should I, shouldn't I? Is it time? Is it not time? Is this the thing that I need to let go of? Or should I stay a little bit longer? If you find yourself sort of oscillating between yes or no, should I or shouldn't I, you don't feel it in your body. And chances are you haven't created the stillness or the space internally to really feel the truth of your own response. Okay, so we usually always know if once we're quiet enough and still enough, let go of our attachments to any outcome, let go of any fears, any lack. Oftentimes it's fear and lack that drives our attachments, our need to hold on to things, even though we know that it's over, whether it's a relationship, it's run its course, or, perhaps it's an old item of clothing. It could be something as simple as that. It doesn't have to be a big emotional attachment, but there are certain things that we just become attached to. They represent something. That thing that you're attached to, that you are holding on to, is meeting a need for you, a deep need for safety, for security, for reassurance, for familiarity. Okay. All of these things are kind of the same energy. All right. So I invite you to really just set all that aside and trust that you're safe and whole and provided for, no matter where you are or who you're with or what your circumstances are. That never changes. This is always the truth of who you are, regardless of your circumstances. All right. So having said that, right, if that's not a concern, if money was no object, if you were always safe, you were always provided for, what would you let go of? What would you choose in your life? Right? This is the place that we always want to come from, because this is our truth. The truth is, I am always safe and provided for, even if I don't perceive my reality that way. Even if my conditioned self has manifested an environment that tells me otherwise, it doesn't mean it's true. It just means that I have evidence of my beliefs. The evidence of my beliefs is very different than the truth. As human beings, we confuse this topic all the time. We confuse evidence with reality. The truth is whatever we say it is. It's whatever we choose to believe it is. It's whatever our belief system is allowing for our perception to reveal. Okay. So this is very, very important. You get to choose at any point in time how your life is going to go by taking radical self-responsibility. So when we know it's time to let go, when we're finding repeated loops in patterns of things, we're finding blocks that keep showing up in the thing that it is that we're trying to accomplish, or perhaps we're feeling stuck in the thing that's not really working out the way we want it to, or perhaps you've just lost your excitement for it, your enthusiasm for it, your passion for it. You're just done. Perhaps you've been in a job that was very fulfilling, very rewarding for some time, and now it's stopped being that way. It stopped feeling like that. It just has lost its, its spark, if you will. And so when that's the case, that it's time to move on. And what happens is we know this truth in an instant, and then the mind will kick in. The conditioned self, also known as the ego self, will kick in and say, oh, no, wait, I can't let this go. And then in come the attachments and all of the logic and all of the conditioning and the reasoning why it's too scary to say goodbye. right? And if you're in a, for example, if you're someone who is stuck in a situation where you just know it's over, but you feel like you have no way out, like you have no other resources, or you need to be where you are because it meets another need, and so you're sacrificing yourself to get those basic needs met, even though you know that it's over, you're really shortchanging yourself the fulfillment of your potential. You really are, because when we take that leap to advocate for our values, for what we truly believe is true for us, what's real and for us in the moment, the universe really conspires to meet us there, right? It helps us and supports us, and other resources start to show up. Friends start to come out of the woodwork, or opportunities start to surface because you've taken that step for yourself. And I tell this to everybody, that I coach and that I read for. When you make that step towards nurturing yourself, the step towards advocating for the fulfillment of your potential, the rest of the world will meet you there, always and forever. This is fundamentally true. When I choose to honor myself, the world meets me there. Okay. And I've seen this over and over again in my own life and in the lives of my clients and my friends and family. It's so, so, so important. So, it's time to let go when the thing stops filling your soul, when it stops bringing you joy, when there's some, as I mentioned earlier, some repeated patterns and blocks that keep showing up, when you feel like you're trying to make something happen, like when you feel like you're trying to force an outcome. It's done. Like it's over. You've lost the connection to it. You need to either take a step back and recalibrate and re-examine your relationship to the thing. Why do I really want this? Why do I think I really need this? Is this something I'm truly emotionally connected to? Okay. It's very empowering for us as human beings, especially those of us on a spiritual path that are developing our awareness, that are, that are refining our ability to sense these subtle energies of our intuition, our clairs. It's so fulfilling to live in the flow, as we say, and to live in the flow means I'm in alignment with my truth always, which means when something is up and it's ready to be either, walked away from or completed or closed off, it's a gift to me and it's a gift to whoever else might be involved in the situation. Okay. I want you to see closure as grief plus grace. Okay. So grief and grace together is what closure really is. And closure, it's not something you need to talk to another person for. You don't need their participation. You don't need to go back into the environment. You don't need to confront a person. In fact, oftentimes when we do inner work and we're completing relationships or, letting go of things that no longer serve us, we don't have access to the other person, or perhaps the other person is unwilling to meet us in that closure conversation. Closure is something that happens within. It's a decision we make when we know, when we trust our bodies that something is done and it's over. We feel it, it lands in our hearts, and we just make peace with it. Right. And you can, of course, there's a million different ways you can create this experience for yourself. If you're someone who likes rituals or cord cutting or ceremonies or burning candles, none of these things are required, but they can enhance the experience and really amplify the energy of what it is that you're invoking. You're having a conversation with your higher self and you're saying, I'm done with this thing. I let it go. I bless and release it. I thank it for everything that it has served me in my life, all the lessons that it has brought to me, the gifts, the triggers, which are also gifts. They're gifts that invite me to go deeper into myself and to recognize the areas that need more love and more compassion, more tenderness, more softness, more empathy. I bless it for all of the adventures we've had, whatever I've learned or expanded in myself, my capacity, all the things that I have become as a result of my participation in this thing. It can be, again, a relationship, a job, a situation, life circumstances, fill in the blanks. You know in your body when something stops nourishing your soul. And so be intentional about what you're letting go of. So many of us hang out in avoidance because we don't want to experience the pain of grief or the pain of loss. Grief is an integral part of the renewal process. So as you're moving through life, grief is actually necessary. It's a kind of like an energetic cleanse that we go through to clear out the full range of our emotions, anger and bargaining and sadness and fear and all of the emotions that come with the process of grief, right? So allowing ourselves to walk through all of those experiences and all of those feelings gives us permission to really open ourselves up to receive more love, right? Because now we've cleared away this loss, we've integrated it, we've moved into a place of acceptance, and we've come into contact with how much we can love, how much we can hold, how much we can receive, especially when we let go and we make room for more of whatever spirit has in store for us, whatever it is that you deeply desire, that you deeply want to manifest. Spirit is not separate from you. You are spirit, you are God, you're all of it expressing itself through you. And so when you open yourself up to receive deeply, spirit will meet you there. You will have this reflection in your life, but not if you don't make room for it. Okay. So if you're still holding on, and again, it doesn't matter if it's the clutter in your closet or the habits that you know are keeping you stuck and keeping you in a loop, or the thinking process, or perhaps the relationship or the job, whatever situation you find yourself in, you know, in your body. I invite you to take this time, rewatch this part of the video, and just really reflect on, what do I know I'm done with? What in my life am I actually done with that's no longer serving me? And invite spirit in to help you bless and release, to acknowledge the role that it's played in your life. Even if it's been destructive, it still played a role in your life because it allowed you to become aware of yourself and to learn about yourself and to be willing to choose something better. Okay. So just honor the role that it's played in your life and be willing to bless and release it so that you can evolve into a happier, healthier, more aligned version of yourself. Okay. And of course, when we sit and meditate and we ask spirit for support, it's always there. It's just a matter of being open and willing to receive it. Okay. And of course, if you have any questions about what to let go of or how to do this, I'd be happy to answer those questions tonight, or you can leave your comments at the end of this video. I always love to hear from you. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. All right. Welcome, 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 everybody. Good to see you all. Okay, let's dive in, shall we, Lorraine? Who is first? Hi, Louise. Okay. Good to see you here, my dear. Louise says, hi, Sabrina. This week, one of my beloveds passed. Can spirit tell me about her? Okay. So this is a question for a mediumship reading, okay? I'll do my best to channel what I can in this environment. Hopefully you're still here. I forgot to mention at the beginning that if you want messages like this, it's really important that you stay on and validate. Otherwise, I'm just kind of speaking into the void, okay? So if you're still here, please confirm, Louise, and I'll do my best to channel what I feel is coming through. So, I mean, the one thing that is very apparent to me is like, it feels like a sister, big sister energy, almost like I actually want to say more of like a fairy godmother energy. You know, it's kind of like this person's always there when you need her. She's always shows up for you. She's, it feels like she is, always appearing. Hi, Louise. Good that you're here. So it feels like almost like an angel on your path, or a fairy godmother, like a very strong sister soul contract with this person that has passed. Her energy feels very light and very fragile and sweet and loving. And yeah, I'm experiencing a lot of pain in my chest too, as I'm sort of tuning into her. So I'm having some trouble breathing. So I think she had either some respiratory things going on, maybe some asthma or something going on with her lungs in the chest area as she was passing. And so, or perhaps as towards the end of her life. I'm actually seeing literal angel wings. And I don't know if this is a costume or something. I don't know if there is an instance where the two of you maybe dressed up together or something like that, but I actually see real angel wings and white feathers on these angel wings. And yeah, there's something in the goddess energy here that's tying the two of you together. And I don't know if that's the way that you see her or the way that you held her in your heart. But there's something about this relationship that feels like a past life connection. It feels like a soul contract, sister energy. She's there for you. And she's kind of like, yeah, she represents a safe haven. That's the expression I'm looking for. The other thing I want to say too is that she hasn't left you. Like, this feels very sudden and very, very recent. She there's something about you being by the water that she loves. And so when you're either swimming, I think she loved swimming. So whenever you go swimming, she's with you by the water. And the image I'm getting is the image of a dragonfly. It's like it looks like it's actually a golden dragonfly. And so I want to say there's a live dragonfly, but also like a golden dragonfly, like a pendant or a brooch or something like that. These are the images I see when I tune into the energy of this person. This is what I want to say about her. Very sweet, very angelic in her disposition. I feel like she cared deeply about you and other people, and she gave a lot of herself. And I also feel like she passed away, like relatively young. Like she still had more time. She's saying to me, I had more time here left on the planet. And that's, I'll leave you with her love. That's pretty much what the messages I get for you, Louise. Again, if you want to communicate with her, I invite you to join me in mediumship, and Lorraine will put the link here for readings. Lorraine, if you have it handy, you can put it here for Louise. Mediumship is the best environment to communicate with loved ones. You can come and see me on screen, interact with me, and I'm happy to read on your behalf and connect you with your beloved. Okay. Thank you so much, Louise, for being here. Good. Beautiful. Hi, Rhonda. Nice to see you. Follow up, she says. Michael called the same day you said he would. Okay, good. Without getting in the weeds, okay, he shared that he had an expectation that wasn't met, referring to something about me. Yes, my feelings were hurt. Okay. And I'm still marinating in it. Okay, good. So how can I support you? Today, however, please help me identify what's occupying my mind that I need to release, and where do I need to broaden my perspective? Thank you for your guidance. Well, I mean, it's in the vein of what you're asking, right? So there's this conversation with Michael that's taking up a lot of space in your mind. There's a lot of ruminating thoughts about it. And so, I invite you to really meet yourself with compassion and non-judgment. Okay. So really deeply meet yourself with love and compassion, and, whatever needs of his you were not meeting, you could ask him to clarify what those are and what structures you want to put in place to help you meet those needs for him. Okay. So again, we can't read each other's minds. You can't read his mind. You don't know how to meet his needs. It's important to have the conversation and ask him. Okay. So, and this allows you to sit with whether or not you're willing to do that. You have choice in the matter, right? Sometimes we get so caught up in holding onto the relationship, as I talked about at the beginning, that we don't actually evaluate truly whether or not it meets our needs, or whether or not we're capable of meeting the other person's needs. Okay. So this is your opportunity to really discern for yourself whether his request is reasonable and whether or not it's something that you can do. You have free will. You can say no. Okay. This is what's occupying your mind. And what I also want you to see too is that this instant of separation, first of all, I hope you communicated that this strategy of his to just disappear didn't meet your need for consideration and respect, and that you would prefer a more transparency, more dialogue in the future, because that way you know what's going on, right? This is kindness and compassion and conscious love, honestly, is to just tell people what's going on, and this is what I need right now. So the ghosting is not constructive, so I hope you communicated that. And the other thing I want to say too here is really just your walls kind of went up a little bit. Like I feel like, oh, this happened and you had this conversation, so now the walls are up a little bit. So this is not an opportunity to close yourself off from love. It's really an opportunity for you to advocate for how you want to be loved. Okay. And it's so important you take that risk in the conversation with your loved one, with your partner, because otherwise he doesn't know how to meet you there. And you're not giving him the opportunity to choose whether or not he wants to meet you there. Okay. So when we're clear and transparent with our partners, we give them an opportunity to choose. Do you want to meet me here? Can you meet me here? Are you willing to meet me here? Okay. So it doesn't feel like pressure. It doesn't feel forced. There's no implied expectation. There's no assumptions. It's a conscious agreement you're making. Okay. And this is what I want you to focus on is take a pause from Michael and all of the conversations and everything, and just unplug and go back into yourself, go back into your own source of love. You are the source of the love in your life. And that's true for everybody. And really calibrate what that looks like for you, what that feels like for you, and how you want to be loved. Okay. That's my guidance for you, Rhonda. I hope that's helpful. What is Rhonda saying? Sorry. Thank you for that. I was ready to mess up this divine plan. Okay, good. I don't want you to do that. I want you to really focus on the trigger it can do one of two things. Okay. Conflict, which usually triggers create conflict, right? So they can do one of two things. They can bring us closer together, or they can tear us apart, and you get to choose. Okay. So I think you should vow to go deeper in love versus finding a way out. And I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. All right. So work on that with him and come back and let me know how that unfolds for you. Beautiful. Okay, Lorraine, sorry, I jumped over you. What's the next question, please? Hi, Maria. Nice to see you here. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of water. Hey there, pretty lady. Thank you so much. I'm going to 3 interviews this week. Good for you, Maria. And next, it's to work as a preschool teacher. Do you see me getting a full-time job at one of those? I think we talked about being in a preschool environment before, or working with kids at least. That seems to ring a bell as I tune into your field. There's one there because there's 3 jobs. I want to say door number 2. And so that's the one that comes through. It's either the second one you interviewed for, or this this one feels like it's got a big outdoor area. I don't know if it's more of a Montessori vibe. It kind of feels like a lot of little wooden tables that are closer to the ground. This is the right space for you. The play-centered environment, not the traditional preschool environment, like public school environment, but this is the more play-centered one. I actually feel like there's a woman there that you connected with that's going to be very supportive for you. So it looks like someone that who can either be a mentor or a friend, someone who's been in this work for some time, who you have a connection with, and there's trust that's established between you and this lady. Okay. So I see this door number 2, whatever the second one is, the one that I just described, feels very supportive and feels like that's the right place for you to follow up on. Okay. So what I want you to do in the meantime is let go of your attachment. Just trust that the interviews went exactly the way they were supposed to. You did your best. We can't change the past. So all we can do is surrender and trust the divine unfolding. Of course, I've given you some indication as to what is naturally going to unfold. And I want you to just stay open. So stay open and just trust. Be in the energy of trusting and allowing for something really great to happen in your life, or whatever that is. It can be anything, but staying in that positive energy of, things are always working out for me. Okay. And then come back and let me know how that unfolds for you. Okay. And Maria, I invite you to book a reading. I invite you to come and sit with me one-to-one so we can go deeper into your life and into your, all of your questions. I know there's been many, especially around relationships and so on. So there's the link to book a reading with me. I look forward to holding space for you. Beautiful. Okay. Who's next? Who's this? Oh, Luis Francis. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, sweetheart. Okay. Sorry, Lori. Okay, here we go. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer says, hello. I want to see if there's a message for me from my guides. I feel like something very negative is going on at my new employees directed at me. My new job? Is that what you mean? Regarding employees directed at me and want to see if this is true. Thank you. Okay. Okay. First of all, there's always a message from your guides. And I want you to trust your intuition here. Like, there's something that you're picking up on. I want to say that it's partially valid, and your intuition is always valid, but there's also some conditioning. There's some triggers. Yeah, I figured you meant job. Okay. So Jennifer, and I say this with love and respect, I think you've got some wounds around trusting people and being suspicious of people and being in environments that are hostile. Okay. I think that this is part of your past and part of your experience. You have the evidence of people not being trustworthy or betrayal or being hurt and so on. So there's a belief that that's there, and so that part of you creates the evidence of it. Okay, so there's some of that going on. I would just want to name that, and so there's some healing work to be done. As far as can you bring up her question again? I want to thank you. I feel like something very negative was going on at work. Okay. Here's what I want to say about your work environment. Okay, so you're a new kid on the block, and you come in and you've got all these ideas and you've got this presence and you've got this, you have a certain authority that you hold, and there's an energy about you that people either really love you or they're really put off by you. It's like kind of one of those energies, and it's not you. It's not personal to you. I feel like you're a lovely person. I feel like you mean well. Your heart's in the right place, and you're often misunderstood in relationships or in community environments. Okay, just environments where there's more than one person, and so it's important for you to just. The first thing I want to say to you is just kind of relax and trust that. If you stay in your integrity and you stay true to your values, it is. And that's true as far as past. Okay, good. So you see how both of these are true, right? There's your conditioned beliefs that's manifesting the evidence that people are against me because of what happened to you. And this is valid. What happened to you is valid. It's just not true. And let me explain what I mean by that. It's valid in the sense where you're creating the evidence of it because you have beliefs in place. The truth is you're whole, perfect, and complete, and you're lovable, and you're capable of creating a sense of belonging and community wherever you go, if you believe that that's true. Okay. So I want to say, so Jennifer says that's very true. Okay, good. So we have this in place. So you're manifesting the evidence, and you have this other energy happening in your environment, which is, the intuition that I'm getting, this is my psychic hit on your environment, is that there's this off-putting energy that's like, how do we take this lady, kind of like, is she with us? Is she against us? That kind of thing. It's a little cliquey where you are. I don't know if it's in a small town or if it's kind of small community. So here's my guidance for you. This is what your spirits guides want you to know. First of all, I see a raven, which is a big black raven. And it actually shows up when I channel for you. It's not the first time. And the raven is like magic. That's the medicine in animal medicine. It's magic. It's being able to conjure up the experience that you want to have. You have power here. You have power in this environment. As long as you stay true to your values, you stay in your integrity, don't participate in any negativity, any toxicity, especially if there's like already some kind of, you perceive that it feels like you're perceiving that there's some employees that already have like some complaints about their environment, or there's some gossip going on. Don't get sucked into that. Okay. Just stay true in your values. You're there to do a job. You're there to be a professional. You're there. It's the prison. Okay. Gotcha. So here we are. This is the environment. So, and again, there's like this little subculture, like there is in most work environments, of people that are sort of conglomerating around, complaints or how things are working out or not working out. And so your energy represents a little bit of a threat because you're new, because you represent change, and because of how you show up, because you're powerful, right? So, and this is what I'm reading. So I want you to just stay true to who you are, be in your integrity, don't compromise your values. Like I said, you're a professional, you're there to do a job, and just hold your ground, because I feel like that's going to get recognized. That's my animal spirit and Celtic zodiac raven. Okay, good. I keep seeing it every time you come on here, and I don't know if I've mentioned it to you before, but it's very clear. So there you go. And I want you to look it up in animal medicine. Look up what the raven means. It's magic. It's conjuring up experiences. It's the power of magic. And that means that you have magic. It means, first of all, we all have access to it, but raven medicine is saying to use your magic to create the environment that you want to create, to magnetize the people that are like-minded to you. Okay. And don't worry about the rest, because I feel like this is my other prediction, is is that there's a couple of these other employees that are not going to be around much longer. Okay, so there's some changes coming in this environment, and you being there is kind of pushing them out, whether you're conscious of it or not. So just stand your ground, stay in your light, stay in your power. And I feel like you have an ally or two in this environment as well. So just stay connected to your, the person that hired you, the person that is, this ally that I'm seeing feels like a gentleman. Just stay connected to him, and stay in your values, and don't participate in this toxicity. You're going to survive this, and you're going to find security and safety in this job. Okay, but you have to find security and safety in yourself first. Right, which means doing the healing work. Again, I'm going to put the reading link here for you. Come and see me in a one-to-one so we can deal with this once and for all. We can sort of transcend the evidence that you need to watch your back, that people are out to get you, that you're not being, they're not trustworthy, or that, you don't know who you can trust. Okay, this is a painful way to live, right? And you're going to keep perpetuating the evidence of this belief until you learn to transcend it. Okay, so that's the link to book with me. Come and see me in a one-to-one, and I look forward to holding space for you. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. Jennifer, thanks for joining us tonight. Who is next? Hi, old Dolio. How are you? Welcome to our community. I believe it's your first time here. Old Dolio says, do you see me changing careers in the next 2 years? That's a very specific question. Okay. I like to answer questions like that in 2 ways. So there's the personal responsibility piece, and then there's what's likely going to happen given the current trajectory that you're on. The what's likely going to happen is that I want to say this idea of changing careers is slow going. It's been slow going. It's perhaps something you've been contemplating for some time. I feel like you've been wanting this, but not really taking the steps. It's more like in the realm of wishful thinking, or like hoping, or even just resisting where you are. Like, oh, I wish I had something else, or I wish I could do something else, but not really having a direction for where you want to go. Okay. So that's the current climate energy that I'm reading. And you have sovereignty. You have free will. You can change your stars at any point in time. You can make a decision. If you want to change careers, you can do that. You don't need permission from external circumstances. You can actually choose that right now in this moment, okay, by tuning into your own power and really, going back and watching the beginning of this video, which is for you. Old Dolio says that's true. Yeah, I feel it. And so go back and watch the beginning of this broadcast when I talk about when spirits is telling you it's time to let go. It's time to let go. If you know in your body that you're out, you're done, you've had it, it's not serving its purpose anymore, it's run its course, then it's time to shift. Okay, so this is where you get to step in and you get to say, okay, how do I want to feel? How do I want my life to go? What do I want to do? Right? You get to create it all, and then you get to take the steps to allow this manifestation in your life. Maybe there's a training you want to do. Feels like, actually, I want to say that there's some type of certification or enhancement to what you already do, to your professional abilities that you've been contemplating as well. It's time to do that. Okay, so a little bit more preparation for the thing. I feel like it's a more technical thing that you want to be versed in. So that's required. It is wise to change job. Is it wise to change jobs at this time, though? I love these questions. There's nothing outside of you to determine that. You get to determine when it's time. It's wise if you feel it is, if you believe it, if you trust it in your body, if you know it with your soul, if you envision it, if you can see it, if you can embody it, it's time. There is no timing. There's no right timing. That's why timelines are so hard to predict, even in psychic work, because energy changes every day. You make it, I can say one thing today and then you make a different decision tomorrow and you've shifted your timeline. Hopefully you're using the guidance that I'm channeling to quantum leap and to accelerate your timeline. This is what we want. We want to shift into a new paradigm now. We want to change into a new reality now. So I want to empower you to envision the kind of work you want to do. Okay. Feels technical. Again, feels technical. I don't know if it's like in tech. or some type of development, or it's something that requires more enhancement, or perhaps a certification or some kind of addition to what you already know. Okay. I feel like you could do that, and it's easy. You could do it from home, perhaps an online course or something like that. And then you just need to decide exactly how you want to feel in your everyday life, in your work environment, how you want your job to nurture you, and to create the possibility of that job being in the world. And I see you making that jump. So I work in clinical research. Okay. So there is, I mean, I guess that's technical, right? So, there's things you could do there to enhance this role or experience or qualification. It feels like there's something more you can add to this that would make your resume impressive, and also open up your, beyond clinical research. There's something more that you can do. There's something more that you can build. It's just not about researching. You have ideas. Okay. So you've got ideas that you can bring to life in this researching thing that you're doing. And I feel like you have some inclination what I'm talking about, but you haven't really given it a voice. You haven't really given it momentum. You haven't put any energy there. So I want you to really spend time feeling into what you're passionate about, what you're really good at, what you deeply desire to contribute to the world of research, and perhaps coming up with new ideas and new ways of doing things. Okay, especially, and give yourself permission to really envision that and go for it. I mean, of course, it's wise. It's wise to change. It's wise to jump and make new decisions, especially if you feel in your body that it's time. Okay. So I just want to empower you with that. I feel like you will be met with, I feel like you interview well, and there's actually opportunities now currently available for you. So, don't be afraid to take that jump, to make that leap, and to really, to take responsibility for where you want to be in your life right now. Okay. I'm going to leave you with that. And again, I invite you to book a reading so we can just really dive into this career thing. There's some kind of idea that wants to come through you in your researching and development. Like there's the research, but you're missing the development part. And I want to encourage you to figure out what that development part is, because it's something big that wants to come through you. And that's part of the reason why you're not satisfied in your work, right? Because you're not really doing what you're meant to be doing. We know when we're exactly where we're supposed to be. We feel it in our bodies. We feel aligned. We feel happy. We feel plugged in. When I do these Oracle Hour, broadcasts, when I do readings, when I channel, when I'm facilitating transformation, I know that I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to do. I don't have any questions about it. This isn't a job for me. It's self-expression, right? It's an expression of God. And so I don't question that. And this experience of loving what you do and being so passionate about the work that you do is available to everybody, all beings everywhere, in whatever capacity you're meant to serve. Okay. We all have the same purpose. Spoiler alert. We all have the same purpose. This purpose is to realize your essence, to realize your true self, your true nature, and to help others realize their true nature in whatever capacity you feel called to serve. It actually doesn't really matter how you serve, right? It's just a matter of waking up to the truth of who you are, and helping others do the same. We all want to do that. We all want to help each other. So I just want to leave you with that. There's a link to book a reading. Come and see me one-on-one. All right. Beautiful. All right. Who's next? Hi, Miley. It's good to see you here tonight. Miley says, discussion about moving my team and me to another director has been quiet for a month. Okay. It's resurfaced this morning in an email. A meeting is now scheduled for this Friday to finalize the decision. Okay. This all sounds very intense. I worked under this director before, but transferred after an HR complaint about a toxic environment. Do you see me? I think I answered this question already. I feel like you're going to be with a guy that you don't want to be with very temporarily. I actually feel like this is going to get worse before it gets better. And I just hang in there with me, because there is medicine in this for you, Miley. Okay. I feel like this is a temporary thing, that these circumstances are showing up to teach you how to really advocate for yourself, how to really get clear on the kind of environment you want to work in, how you want to run this team, the kind of director you want to work for, and so on and so on. This is really like forcing you to get clear on, what serves your highest and best good. All right. And are you in an environment where you're really being listened to? Again, it's like shouting into the void. It feels like, I don't know if you're talking to HR or whatever, but it's this, something's getting lost in translation. So I want you to like take this opportunity to seize the day for your needs, for your professional needs, for how you want to be treated at work, and so on. And you will be not with this director for a very long time. Either the momentum you create gets too much to avoid, it becomes like too confronting for your environment, and there's multiple complaints. It feels like it's not just you, there's multiple complaints. So and I feel like you'll be either moved or this person will not last long in your environment. Okay, so the hit, without getting into the details, because I'm not getting into the circumstances of the details of your job. That's not my role. My role is to point out what the lesson is. Okay, so here's my prediction. There's the lesson. The lesson is for you to advocate for yourself, and you're going to keep being put in these environments that you don't want to be in, feeling victimized by a director that you don't want to work for, until you learn to tap into your own power and really advocate for yourself. They are all aware of the situation with this director. Okay, good. So keep showing up for what it is that you need and what it is that you want. And watch the beginning of this broadcast when I talk about when is it time to let go, right? Like I've said this to you before, I believe, Miley, you can stay in this job for as long as you want, but you're not happy here. You're not happy here, and they're not listening to you, right? So, if you hang on, there will be a shift. This director is not going to stay there for much longer. And I want you to also, at the same time, simultaneously, really ask yourself, is this the right environment for me? Right? Instead of being in this disempowered place, wondering what are they going to do? Am I going to be okay? What are they going to do? Am I going to be okay? You can make a decision to say, you know what? I don't want to work for an organization that doesn't listen to me, right? And take those steps to find other employment, or to find a different department, or to apply for a transfer, or whatever is appropriate in your current work environment. You can do that. Actually, I feel like you could do that now if you wanted to, but you're very loyal to your team and you want to stay with your people, which I also acknowledge. Okay, there's a virtue in that, but don't sacrifice yourself. Okay, I really want you to step into personal responsibility here. Keep advocating for yourself and your team, and this will bring up the volume on this guy, and he doesn't have long in your environment. Like I said, it might get a little bit worse before it gets better, but if you stay the course, it will improve. In the same time, I want you to really reflect on, is it time to move on? Okay, is it time to move on? That message is for you tonight, just like it was for everybody who's watching, whether you're watching live or watching the replay. That message is for you. Okay, Miley. And of course, book a reading, come and see me one-on-one so we can get into the details. You can share about the circumstances. I can get the backstory. We can go into, exactly what the best strategy is based on your energetics, based on your desires, based on your needs, and based on what's available to you, which you're not seeing it. You don't have access to your power in this situation. Okay. So I invite you to book, and I look forward to holding space for you. Also come back and let me know how that unfolds. All right. Beautiful. Okay, who's next? Hi, Maria.
Hi, beauty. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Oh, good. We figured out the sound. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. I'm doing well. I just got home a little while ago, and I was, oh, thank you. I'm tired. Thank you, though. So I didn't get an official job contract or anything. However, when he was giving me the tour, he showed me my office. He said, "This is going to be your office."
Oh, so is it the logo with the flower, with the red flower?
So I have to say that, yes, the one I sent you, and then in the office, they had the logo, but this logo was so big that it actually looked like that very first one that you had thought about, you know, very similar. This job definitely feels more aligned to, I'm sorry about the dogs barking.
It happens to me. Don't worry about it.
It feels more aligned to who I am at the core. There's purpose in the job. We got to talking numbers, and it came in 10 under what you had shared and 10 over what I had shared with you.
Gotcha. So
10 under what you said, 10 over what I said.
Yeah. And so here's what I want to say about that. So range, right? There's the capacity to grow into that, right? There is the capacity to grow into that, because this job, you know, is going to move you up in the ranks. Did you talk about that in your interview, that there's an opportunity for growth and expansion, an opportunity to even manage a person or two eventually? Did you talk about that?
He didn't mention it like that. He did mention the growth within the company. And I just assumed, you know, that would be a given. I didn't really feel like an interview. It just felt like talking with a friend. He didn't ask me any questions. And he was the first employer that has ever said to me, I feel you're overqualified. You know, I'm not worried about you doing the job. I just worry about are you going to be satisfied doing it?
Yeah.
And, you know,
this is it. Are you happy?
I am happy, and I love the area. I drove by again a couple of the apartments. I took myself out to lunch, and it feels right. And so
I love what you're saying, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but this is powerful. Like, so look at what's unfolded for you, right? You made a decision that you were done. I don't know if you were at the beginning of this broadcast, but I talked about when it's time to let go, right? So you made a decision that you were done with your environment. You followed your intuition. You said, I want to upgrade, right? This is the total upgrade that we talked about months ago, right? One of the first times you came on the show.
Yeah.
And here's the total life upgrade. Here you are making a decision, advocating for your needs, walking away from job opportunities that don't serve you, right? The falling and the dishonoring that you were experiencing before, held out for something that really has deep meaning and that you feel passionate about, that you feel energetically aligned with, that brings you joy. Look how happy you are. You're smiling from ear to ear, right? And you found an environment, nature, harmony, and all of the things that you're researching, your ancestry and so on, the things that we've talked about in our reading, right? So like, look at what you created by taking 100% responsibility for being in alignment and for pursuing joy, for following what brings you joy, right? This is the path. It's like, it's so simple, and yet it can be so difficult, especially when we have all these obstacles and circumstances in the way, right? So, but it's all perception, you know? So I really want to acknowledge you for the steps that you've taken and everything you've manifested so far.
Thank you. I'm in so much gratitude that you came into my life. You and I started 8 months ago.
Yep.
And because of you, I was able to rise up and file the word advocate for yourself. So I've never done that with the job thing. I've always settled. And look, here I am. And yeah, it's taken a lot where my income literally double and then some.
Yeah.
And so that feels really good. So again, it's not the number you said, but for me, it's double and then some.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, you know, I mean, I don't want to give up on the number that I forecasted, because I think you're going to grow into it. I think the growth, that's the range, you know, for this job. In fact, I think that if you ask your boss, that's the range for the job that they have budgeted for, you know, for this particular role for you to grow into. And, you know, here's the thing. It's all about what you're creating, with the energy that you bring, right? And so you get to manifest that, right? There's no limit to what you can create if you truly follow your joy and you trust your intuition. Like you said, we started working 8 months ago. For those of you that don't know, Shiloh is a member of our community. She's a member of the Inner Oracle Circle. She came on, she found me an Oracle Hour. We've had a couple readings together. She's been to a couple of my mediumship events. You have followed all the prompts. You have been like just all the guidance. You took the risks when I suggested you did, and you stood in the void, which is really hard for so many of us to be in that void when we don't know what's going on, when there's nothing, when it's crickets, when it's like I've done all the things and nothing's coming through and nothing's panning out, and feeling that anxiety and that fear showing up, and still staying true to yourself and still practicing your, all of your spiritual tools, everything that we've, learned together, and then just manifesting like this new life, this total life upgrade, based on the intuition, obviously the guidance that you receive, but also your willingness and your courage to follow through. Okay. Which is so important.
You have to work it. I want to encourage everyone, do the work. If you don't like something that Sabrina has said, it doesn't matter. File it and do the work. Yeah. Press forward and don't let distractions take you off track. And know that you will have your breakthrough. Like, I don't know that it's not official, but hey, he said, here's your office. Yeah. I'm going to take that as a positive. And another thing you had mentioned was like, I don't know why you live there. Well, I knew my why, my granddaughters, right? And I was set firm on, but it also in my heart, I knew like, this is not working and nothing is happening. I feel like I'm in bondage. Yeah. And so, you really need someone to cheer you on, and you have to do the work. So everyone who's listening, do the work. Do not give up. You will have a breakthrough.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. Thank you
so much.
Beautiful, spontaneous testimonial. Thank you so much for being so generous and for sharing your light, your gift, and your, all of your joy with us. This is for everybody.
I so appreciate you. I will keep you posted. He did say he wants me there like in a week and a half. So I'm going back on Friday. Yeah. And I don't know how it's going to happen with an apartment. But I'm going to find a way to get into one.
You are unstoppable right now, Maria.
I will find a way.
It's all going to work itself out. Don't even worry about it. Like, it's all going to come together. I really feel too, like your boss really likes you. Like, he's very dear, very sweet, very gentle soul, and he's very accommodating. He's got a very sweet disposition. Even if you said to him, like, look, I'm moving. This is after you start the job. I'm moving. I feel like there might be some commuting in the beginning, but eventually I think he might even write you like a letter or something like that, a proof of employment. That's going to help you get the apartment. Okay. Yeah. So like, I just want to say that that's available. Okay. Don't that's a resource that you have. Okay.
Okay. And, so a letter of employment.
Yeah. Of course. I think 100% that would be, that would help you, along with your energy and your heart and your sincerity, which is so palpable. It's so authentic. You're going to be okay. You're really going to be okay. And I actually see, you could it's kind of like a sublease situation. It feels like at first, like maybe it's not a full year-long commitment. It could be a place that you get in the interim. Okay. So that's a possibility as well. When you're in a positive momentum, when your heart's open and you're just like, this is going to happen. Like, I just feel it. I'm on my way there. This is going to go one way, and you're totally in alignment. Lots of different possibilities show up. Okay. So just
wonderful.
I don't want you to get I don't want you to get bogged down with the details. And this is true for everybody who's manifesting. Don't focus on the outcome. Just focus on getting your needs met. What does it feel to have your needs met? What does it feel like to feel safe and grounded and in an environment that supports you and nurtures you? Practice those feelings and then let go of the outcome and watch what unfolds. Okay.
It's such a beautiful feeling to know I'm not going to be in survival mode.
Yeah. Yes.
Even that is gonna make a world of difference.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm so happy for you. Thank you for
Thank you
sharing
so
your needs with
much.
us. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. So
Thank
happy. I look
you.
forward to hearing
I'll
more.
keep you posted.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Bye. Oh, that's so good. I love that little shower of love and hope, and for everybody, from my own direct experience, if we do the work, like Maria said, magic can happen. It's just a matter of believing in yourself, practicing, having the discipline to not give up on yourself, to advocate for your needs, and to relate to yourself as whole and complete and powerful. You're the sovereign creator of your own reality. As I said at the beginning of the show, thank you, everybody who joined us live. Thank you. Oh, I see Melinda's here. Hi. Thank you for being here. Amazing. Thank you for everybody who joined us live. I really appreciate all of you. If you didn't get your question answered tonight, please feel free to book a reading with me. We have one-to-one readings available. Again, Lorraine, you can post that link up at any time. If you want to be part of the community, if you want to experience psychic gallery events, mediumship events within a group environment, within a community environment, then all you need to do is join the channel. There's level 3, which is tier 3. Join the YouTube channel, and you'll get an instant email on events that are coming up and how to participate and links and so on. So that's the link to join. Otherwise, feel free to join me here every Wednesday and Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific, where I channel spirit on your behalf. Okay, so it's my pleasure to do it. And of course, use the guidance that you receive, not just as a source of comfort or a momentary reassurance, but really use the guidance and implement it in your life. Magic happens when we take action. Okay, when we allow ourselves to fully hear what spirit has in store for us, we allow it to open up our hearts, to shift our belief system. When we follow that up with aligned action, we literally become unstoppable. Okay, so I will leave you with that. All my love to you. Thank you so much for joining me live, and I will see you all on Wednesday. What are we? We're Wednesday. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye for now.